Welcome back to Coral Gables Now. For the past 2 years, the Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce has honored individuals that have carried out city founder George Merrick's vision for the city. And with us today to talk about that award is the president of the chamber, which is Mark Trowbridge. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And the recipient of this year's George E. Merrick Award, Betsy Adams. Thank you, both of you, for being here. And I want to start with you, Mark. Tell me about this award. It's been 2 years since it's been in inception, so tell me about it.
You know, we're very fortunate at the Chamber that a couple of years ago, Alan Morris came to us and said, we need something in Coral Gables that really harkens back to our city's founder. And it's not only our city's founder, but the Chamber's founder as well, and as Betsy will tell you, a few other organizations that she's involved with. And so he reached out to us, which we are eternally grateful for, to create what I think is now one of our signature awards programs, not only in the Chamber, but in all of Coral Gables. And it's really about honoring someone, as you said in your remarks, who represents the various visions that George Merrick had for our great Coral Gables. And we're honored that we are kind of the repository and the caretaker for this award, and we're looking forward to many, many years to come.
I've realized it is a very popular award to have, and you've got some great names and people who have been who've made the finals on this award. And the purpose of it is to honor these individuals who have made a difference.
Make a difference, and if you look at George Merrick's life, you can look at it in a lot of kind of amazing ways. He was an amazing business person. That's where the Chamber comes from. He was a good corporate citizen, and the things that he did in Coral Gables. He engaged his wife and his mother with the Garden Club and the Women's Club that to this day are major contributors. He gave money and land to make sure the University of Miami could happen here. And so all of those and all of those various facets represent the man that we have just come to know kind of, you know, as the founder of our chamber. But when you look at the nominees, every year, and I told Betsy this when she was honored a few weeks ago, every one of those people are just so wonderful. And we have people that for years to come will be recipients of this award because they've given so much to Coral Gables. And George Merrick started all of that, you know, nearly 85 years ago.
Now, who are the judges? Who are these people that are picking people like Betsy?
Well, one of the things we do is we try to pick folks who are also, you know, like George Merrick, sort of icons in the community. So over the last couple of years, certainly Alan Morris has participated. He really chairs that panel of judges. Donna Shalala has participated with us for the last 2 years, the president of the University of Miami. We've had representatives from the Garden Club who made this statue that you see here before us that is the sort of icon of the award happen, and it stands beautifully in front of historic City Hall. The chair of the chamber participates each year. We've had the mayor participate in the past, and it's always a really high-level group of judges who are looking at peers and picking that one person who's going to be honored. And we do it a little bit different than some of our sister chamber organizations. We don't tell folks in advance who's going to be honored. We tell them who the distinguished honorees are, and every one of them is honored that night. But there is that one person who walks away with George Merrick that night.
Yeah, we were at the Goals Conference Gala, and we got video of the whole ceremony and the award being handed to you. And it was a really nice event to see. And I'm sure for you, although you had to, tell me about the process of because this isn't just an award that's just taken lightly where, you know, it's just, there's facts and information that needs to be corroborated.
Well, yes, someone had to nominate you, and George Corrigan, the past mayor, did. And then I had to send in information on what I've done, like everybody else.
And we were talking before how you really had stiff competition there. I mean, there were people on that list.
That's why I'm totally shocked the night I won it. I really was. I was the most, I think the person in that room that was so surprised. You know, yes, I've done these things, and I've won several awards through the Garden Club, through the state, and the city, but it was just, I mentioned doing this when I became president, and then they made me chairman, so I just did my job. That's all.
She's very, very humble, as
well,
you can see.
No.
You understand now why
yes.
it's no great surprise, I think, to those of us within the organization and our judges that Betsy would be honored, and not just because of her good work and her wonderful nature. But when you look at George Merrick, and I think we feel the same way about our first recipient, which was Arva Moore Parks, is people who've just really dedicated a lot of years of time. And Betsy was so charming when she got up there and accepted the award, because she reminded folks that she kind of got involved a little bit later after you'd done a lot of other things. And the impact that she's made in that short time. And think about Merrick's family that relocated from Duxbury, Massachusetts down here to Coral Gables and founded this city and kind of restarted a second phase of their life. Very analogous.
And it is so important to point out that, you know, you were one of the driving forces, one of the main driving forces with behind these entrances that we're now seeing around the city. I mean, this is a lasting legacy that people from now on will be able to see.
And I've said this before. We have landscaped all the schools, different areas in Coral Gables. That landscaping is not there anymore. But these will be there. They will stay. And the Garden Club is very proud of it, and I'm very proud of the Garden Club, and I must tell you that I give them credit. Yes, I led this, but they worked hard, and they've given their own money and time, every one of them. So I'm very proud. It's a great Garden Club, started by Mrs. Merrick, and
keeping her
legacy
alive as well.
It's about 85 years old, and so it's wonderful. We're work together. I said this before the commission, and they laughed. But I said, you know, we're not just little old ladies in tennis shoes.
No, definitely
we're
not.
doers.
You get things done. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're
Very
doers.
true.
Yeah.
So, absolutely fitting is this award, because it is the statue, the bust of George Merrick, which is the exact replica of the bust that is of the statue that is there in front of City Hall, which you again helped to bring to the city.
Yes. Well,
so it's very interesting. Can you tell me a little bit about the representation of the statue in this award?
Well, actually, I had a great ad hoc group to study this, and it took 3 years to come up with this and find this sculpture. And Arva Parks was there, and she suggested that he hated to wear a jacket. He never wanted to wear a jacket, so we threw it across his shoulder and make it more casual. And then, of course, the plans in his hands. And I just, you know, I said, I just wish George could see the statue in front of City Hall now, because it's great. I think it's where it ought to be. Some people thought it should be in the park, but Santa Claus is there, so I just, I think that he's where he ought to be, and we're just very proud of it. And the Coral Rock had to match City Hall that he's standing on, and the one in City Hall. And it came from the Keys, and that is the only place you can cut it. And the only time you can cut that is when somebody's building a pool or a building, and they can cut it, because it's forbidden to do that. And then there's a company in the South that handles that. Well, that small, I guess it's 6 feet tall, base that he's on, it cost us $48,000 just for the base, because it was tricky on how to do it.
And so the award itself also has Coral Rock to signify.
Yes, that's why that's there, and that's wonderful.
Very
so
nice.
Yes, I'm very proud to have won these awards. However, we couldn't have done it without the garden covers. No, we couldn't.
Well, I want to thank you, and I want to thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for having this award and for just continuing to highlight the beautiful people that we have in the city that are doing good work. And I know that George Merrick would be proud of you if he were here today.
Yes, I wished he would.
Absolutely.
Show up.
And it is our great honor. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And if you'd like more information on the George E. Merrick Award or any other of the programs that the Chamber of Commerce has, you can actually call the Chamber at 305-446-1657. We'll be right back with more of Coral Gables Now.